You know that friend who's clearly a genius but somehow stuck? The one with the unwritten book, the unlaunched business, the unstarted life. It might be you, and it's not your fault, it's your IQ. Science now shows that high IQ comes with 7 invisible traps that punish smart people specifically. By number 7, you'll understand why dreaming big is the most dangerous thing a smart brain can do. Number 1. They mistake mental simulation for memory of achievement. Your brain has a glitch. fMRI studies on the default mode network, the part that lights up when you daydream, show that vividly imagining a future success activates almost the same neural pathways as remembering one you actually had. Translation: when a high IQ person spends 40 minutes visualizing their TED Talk, their brain quietly files it under done. The dopamine releases, the satisfaction lands, the motivation evaporates. Smart people don't procrastinate because they're lazy. They procrastinate because their imagination is so high resolution, it tricks the reward system into clocking out early. You didn't write the book. You just remembered writing it. There's a difference. Your brain refuses to admit it. Number 2. They suffer from cognitive offloading addiction. You know that feeling when you save an article instead of reading it and your shoulders relax? That's not productivity. That's a documented phenomenon called cognitive offloading, and high IQ people are addicted to it. The smarter you are, the more you trust your future self. So you bookmark 200 YouTube videos, screenshot 14 quotes, and download 3 PDFs on stoicism. Each save gives a microdose of relief because your brain treats the act of capturing information as functionally equivalent to consuming it. Your hard drive is enlightened. You are not. The cruel irony? Average IQ people forget the article exists, so they actually read it. Geniuses build a library and live in the lobby. Number 3. They run pre-mortems until the patient dies. High IQ brains are pattern recognition machines. Give them an idea, and within 8 seconds, they've identified 47 ways it could fail. This is supposed to be a feature. It becomes a bug. Psychologists call it analytical paralysis, but I prefer the unofficial term intellectual cowardice dressed as due diligence. They're not protecting themselves from failure, they're protecting their self-image as the smart one from being publicly contradicted by reality. Because here's the thing, average people fail and learn. Smart people fail and have to update their entire identity. The cost is higher. So they run one more spreadsheet, one more Reddit thread, one more I just need to research this properly, forever. And notice the language. I'm doing my homework. I'm being strategic. Research becomes a costume that procrastination wears to look responsible. The brutal test? If your research never ends in a deadline, it was never research. It was a hiding place with a library card. Number 4. The Zeigarnik loop becomes a lullaby. In 1927, psychologist Bluma Zeigarnik noticed waiters could remember unpaid orders perfectly, but the second the bill was settled, the memory vanished. Your brain, it turns out, hates unfinished tasks. It loops them, nags you, keeps them open in mental RAM. For most people, this is uncomfortable enough to force action. For high IQ people, it becomes background music. They've lived with so many unfinished projects that the mental tension transforms into a weird companion, a low hum of I'm someone with potential. The unfinished novel isn't a failure, it's an identity. Finishing it would make them a person who wrote one okay book. Not finishing it keeps them a person who could have written a masterpiece. The tension feels like ambition, it's actually anesthesia. Studies show unfinished tasks actually intrude on intrusive thoughts, but only in people who believe they'll get done. Stop believing, and the loop goes silent. That's the real horror. Smart people don't quit their dreams loudly, they quit quietly by no longer expecting themselves to finish. Number 5. They confuse optionality with freedom. This is the trap nobody talks about. Smart people are obsessed with keeping doors open. They'll refuse to commit to a career, a city, a relationship, a project, because optionality feels like power. Decision theory says more options equal more value, right? Wrong. Behavioral economist Dan Ariely ran experiments showing that humans will burn enormous amounts of energy keeping irrelevant doors open, even when closing them would make them measurably happier and more productive. High IQ people are the worst offenders. Every commitment feels like 99 deaths of the lives they didn't choose. So they hover, they explore, they keep their options open until they're 37 and somehow exhausted from doing nothing. Optionality isn't freedom. It's a beautifully decorated cage with the door painted on. Sartre called this the dizziness of freedom, and high IQ people are uniquely prone to its vertigo because they can vividly imagine every road not taken in cinematic detail. Commitment isn't loss. It's the only mechanism that converts potential into a life. Refusing it isn't wisdom, it's hiding. Number 6, they outsource action to a future self who doesn't exist. Hal Hirschfield at UCLA did brain scans showing something disturbing. When most people think about their future self, the brain activates the same regions used to think about strangers. Not themselves, strangers. For high IQ people, this glitch is supercharged. They build elaborate plans for future me, the version who wakes up at 5 a.m., meditates, writes 2,000 words, and goes to the gym. They genuinely respect this person. They just have no intention of becoming them. Every plan is a gift handed to a stranger. Every deadline, a problem you politely mailed to someone in the future. And then you're shocked when that stranger ghosts you. He was never going to show up. You were the only one who could, and you were busy planning. Hirschfield's follow-up was darker. People who saw their future self as a stranger saved less, exercised less, and broke more promises. Distance breeds neglect. Your future self isn't a person, it's a rumor your present self spreads to feel hopeful while doing nothing to make the rumor true. Number 7, they get addicted to dopamine prediction error. Here's the neuroscience punchline. Your dopamine system doesn't fire hardest when you get the reward. It fires hardest when you anticipate it, specifically when the outcome is uncertain. This is called dopamine prediction error, and it's why slot machines work. Big dreams are slot machines for smart people. The fantasy of becoming a millionaire founder produces more dopamine than actually building the company would. Brainstorming the novel feels better than writing chapter 4. The vision board hits harder than the random Tuesday where you write 600 mediocre words and edit them. Real progress is repetitive, unglamorous, and dopaminergically boring. Smart brains, finely tuned to chase neurochemical hits, naturally drift toward the higher reward, the dream itself, not the work. This is why your most brilliant friend is broke, not because he can't do it, because his brain found a way to feel the win without the work, and now he's chemically addicted to the preview. So here's the dark truth nobody puts on a motivational poster. High intelligence is a knife with no handle. Used right, it cuts through obstacles. Used wrong, it cuts the user, quietly, invisibly, for decades. The dreamers who do nothing aren't broken. They're too efficient. Their minds extract the emotional payoff of success with the inconvenience of pursuing it. Evolution didn't design your brain to build empires. It designed it to feel good. And feeling good about an imaginary empire is cheaper than building a real one. The cure isn't more intelligence. It's the willingness to be temporarily stupid, to do the boring, repetitive, unimpressive thing while your brain screams that you're better than this. You're not better than this. Nobody is. That's the whole secret.